All righty. Good day, everyone. It's the weekly hybrid live show. It's May 27th. Anthony joining us very shortly. But up first, he's a purveyor of unsolicited opinions. It's Dave Claxton way up in Canada. Hey, buddy.
What's up? I'm already missing Anthony. I
know, me too. I am too. We don't know what's
I feel
happening.
like I have one sock on.
He'll be here shortly. But before we do that, while we're waiting for him, I would like to do live ad read, one of my favorite things to do. And today's very special. You can see our little logo up here. Live ad read is from, are you ready for it? Resolute Coffee Cold Brew live pour. I've got a few of these at home, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring it for the afternoon, because in the afternoon, I love an iced coffee. And, you know, I put ice in this thing this morning, and it's still there. I don't know who makes this, but this thing is fucking rocking.
You should probably pay $150 for one of those.
Oh, yeah, one of those stupid fucking things, eh?
Yeah.
And then I asked my wife to pack me a little oat milk. Look at that. Best wife ever. Oh, there he is. Here he comes. Anthony, you just missed a live coffee pour from Resolute Coffee.
Oh.
Well, we got some
sound. You sound horrible, buddy. Fix your mic, eh? Oh.
How's that?
Shit.
Still bad. You're gonna lose all our viewers.
I would think that Anthony is beyond wildly mediocre. I would think like he's like upper middle class.
Yeah, he made the semifinals, right? Or the quarterfinals, whatever comes first. He got a haircut.
Yeah, but I almost made the
again. Did he get another haircut?
Better now?
No. I'm going to dump you, man. I'm going to dump you off this feed. You keep bringing that scratchy. Plug in your cord, eh? Your cord is like loose. Sounds like a cord's loose, from my expert opinion.
Yep. Professional loose cord.
There we go.
There we go.
Hopefully he will return shortly. Well, listen, I'm sure he has a lot of opinions. I have a lot of opinions. What's that?
Well, listen. You kind of got interrupted.
So you can buy these little guys, as well as beans, as well as grounds, from Resolute Coffee. We have 2 comments already from 2 old school favorites, the Shiz himself and Jabari House. Welcome, guys. Tell your friends. Anyway, Resolute Coffee, HFM 20, get to 20% off. You've even got a sticker, right? Oh, you're holding up your Shiz cards?
Yes, my Shiz cards, man. I keep them handy.
Let's go.
My Crush Shit Daily sticker right there.
Nice. Getting a text right now. It's probably Anthony saying he's fucked up. No, it's not. All right. You know I can't do multiple things at once. All right. Crush your fingers. The wild mediocre athlete. Here he comes. All right. Speak, sir. Speak.
Can you hear me better now?
Yay. What'd you do? Fix the cord?
No, I don't know why it's not letting me select this microphone, but...
Well, I forgot my good microphone, but I got this today.
It wasn't turned on when I first entered, so I was like, well, if I exit and come back in with it turned on, maybe it'll be able to pick it up, so...
Call tech support.
Yeah.
Did you get another haircut, Anthony?
No. I just went for a run, and so I threw some water on my face and my hair.
Yeah, I got my haircut. I'm ready.
Yeah. Not as good as my hair looks right now, but you're getting there. You're getting there. Well, listen, I would love to dive in to the news that we're pretty sure is breaking, which is Lance Armstrong, once banned, always controversial, making his way to Hyrox. Now, if you want to learn how I found out that 10K time of his, and I bet you are, I did some serious fucking detective work, which took me a long time, but I will boil it down in a few seconds. He posts on his feed, hey, this guy asked me to show up, blah, blah, blah. Cam something, this big hunter guy. And I decided to go with him. So I Google that race, right? I find the results. I type in his name, doesn't come up. Oh, there's multiple races. There's the sprint. There's the sprint try. There's the this. All the names, his name isn't there. Look at the picture. The picture is number 7. I go to number 7, and it's like a guy's name who I won't reveal. And it sounds like a fake name. And I'm like, is that a fake name he gave? And then I Google that name, and he came up as a CrossFit athlete. And I'm like, So I find that guy another version of his name in Facebook. I message him and say, "Did you run this race?" He said yes, and I showed him the picture, and I said, "Here's Lance with number 7. Did you get a different number?" And he said, "Actually, when I showed up." Because here's what I thought. I thought what happened was, like, when he showed up, they're like, "Let's just go to the no-show pile and we'll give you a number," right?
Mhm.
He said, "When I showed up, they said they had to change my number for a special guest, but they didn't tell him who." He says, "But look up under my name. There's 2 different versions of my name, and that's where you'll find Lance's time." And there you go. So that's Lance's 10K time. And listen, it's not 100% confirmed. There could be another Lance Armstrong in that age group because it's not that uncommon a name, Armstrong. Anyway, we think it's him.
So you're going to race him head to head?
He is my age group, and he is doing the
Exactly,
open
man.
weights. So I could
You've got
do it. I could
experience.
race it.
You have experience on him. He's never done this.
Well, I think
and he's going to be
Go
the
ahead.
first victim of the steroid testing.
it's funny. Somebody already said that, and I'm like, well, wouldn't that be great? They're certainly not going to do it for open. We still haven't heard they're doing it for Nice. But it'll be great because I'm not going to race him head to head, but it will be a nice time for me to beat once he puts something up and be like, oh, let's see if I can beat that because we're the same age. Except he may be on testosterone, and I'm definitely not on testosterone, as we discussed on this program many times.
Can I just say one thing? His
Sure.
videos wall balls aren't to depth.
That is
I think
what
Cheryl
also many
Snow
people
commented
said.
that.
It's true. I watched a video today. I'm like, he's not even fucking close.
So
He's going to get bucketed.
Will the again, also something in common with Mappy Davis? Will he get a good judge? If he has a bad judge, it might actually be better. Because A, they might not know, and B, they might not even know who he is and not have to be afraid of doing it. It'll just be this sweaty 50-year-old coming through. I'm pretty sure there'll be a bunch of cameras on him anyway, so it probably will be. But anyway, curious to any thoughts you have, wildly mediocre athlete?
I mean, if I was judging the event and then like if a bunch of cameras weren't following him, I don't think I would have like off the top of my head recognized him. So there's like, especially in the middle of the event with all those people and just an athlete comes up for you to judge and, you know, like 80 reps in, you're like, oh, are you Lance Armstrong? Like, you know, after you've no-repped him a bunch of times. No, I mean, that's great. I like you said before, though, bringing more eyes to the sport can only be good for it.
Thank you, Jabari.
Yeah.
I needed my ego stroke for that one. It took me a long time.
I mean, I don't know. Does New York qualify you for Nice? Is he all of a sudden gonna get an age group spot and just like head over there?
I think it would
happening
qualify
at the exact same time, isn't it?
Did they say
It's a
when
week
the age
later?
groups,
Yeah.
Did they say when the age group roll down stop? By the way, did they ever say that?
I mean, New York last year was two weeks after Worlds and was applied to this year. So, are they getting 2 New Yorks this year?
Yeah, but was the
I haven't heard that.
Was the last race before Manchester last year? Not Manchester. Where was the World Champs?
Manchester. Last year was Manchester. This weekend.
Yeah,
this weekend last year was Manchester.
So was the week before eligible? Was Rimini eligible or whatever it was?
Before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know when they cut it off. But I mean, yeah. Last weekend was Anaheim, so
that should be the last chance qualifier.
Exactly.
Well, we don't know. Would we like to guess at his open time? We'll take
what was it? 10K was 44 something.
From those of you at home, it was right around. Yes, it was like 43:56.
Plus or minus 88 minutes.
What is that? 108 or 118?
I think minus. No, that's 128. For open, I'll take a minus on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, for pro, I might be different, but for open, yeah, I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
All right. So my buddy Matt Kemp, his current best, and Matt Kemp is a pretty fit. Shout out Matt Kemp, pretty fit, 35 to 39-year-old. I forget how old you are. His best is a 108, and it took him a couple times to get down to that. Right. So
in open or pro?
In open. So if that's that's a pretty good time, right?
That's solid.
So what do we think? His first one, he's my age, maybe on TRT, maybe not. Do we think? I think that might be the line. 108. I'd give him a 112 to 115, which is what my buddy Matt guessed. What do you think?
No, I think higher than that. I think at minimum I'm looking
18. 118 was that your line?
Yeah, he said one. Yeah, yours. No, his was 128, wasn't it?
I think 115 is the over under. I think 115 is the over under.
120.
All right, I take the under. You take me and Dave take the under. You take the over. Can't wait to see what it is.
All right, Dave. Over under. What was my first time when I ran pro?
So I actually don't know.
There was like the sleds were like I think 100 pounds heavier, weren't they back then?
What year was it?
It was Dallas, the invitational one.
Oh wow, way back. Okay, so do we get? Are you setting the line and I got to guess? Because I actually have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Your
I don't
first
know. Well,
pro weights, you did it pro, right?
I've only ran twice. My first one, and then my second one was in Chicago this last year. I got 66.
You got 66, but didn't you get hurt at the end?
No, I cramped up really bad.
Yeah. So this was past. This was not so wildly mediocre athlete Anthony as well.
So I'll put it this way: my last rep in Dallas, my last wall ball got no rep, and I had started running towards the finish line, and I had to come back and do one more, and then I crossed, and I missed one of the times. Yeah.
Good job.
It was here. I'll tell you what I was doing.
I think it was at least 10 minutes slower than that time. The time you did.
So
what do you say?
My first race was the same race as Dylan Scott's first race, and Dylan started in the heat behind me, so he was 15 minutes after me. And by the time the end of the race came, my only goal was don't get passed by this kid.
Right.
I got passed by him. So,
I'm going to go 129.
Matt?
I just said at least 10 minutes slower than the 106.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least 116.
Yeah, I think it was exactly 121.
Oh. That's still not bad.
I was trying to beat 80. 120.
That's still not bad, honestly. Things were a lot slower then.
Yeah, and Dylan beat me by like 20 seconds after starting 15 minutes after me. So,
Matt Putten says, "Hello, leader of Oops All Mats." That's the name of my team, my Hyrox relay team in New York. We are, in fact, all named Matt. It took a while, but we made it happen. We've had three a couple times.
Whose time is going to be faster, Oops All Mats or Lance Armstrong's solo open time?
I'm going to go with Oops All Mats. I'm going to go with Oops All Mats.
I've got some beasts on my team. All right, so me and Matt Putten are bringing us down.
Yeah, Matt Putten, Matt Kemp, Matt Davis,
Matt Halfill.
Okay, I don't know Matt. I'm not as familiar with that one, but
it's okay.
I know I was supposed to go head to head with Matt Putten once at 100 meter at OCRWC, and it just didn't happen.
Matt Putten is congratulating the other Matt for having a great time. All right. Are we ready to move on? We good on Lance? We ready to move on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Hang on a second. Oh, no. Hang on. I messed up.
Oh, no.
I'm doing karaoke.
Yeah.
Are we going to get more viewers since it's Memorial Day? People aren't or is it going to be less?
I think we're going to get more every single week because we're keeping the time. Last week it was a little down because it was a Tuesday and we messed it all up there. But next up is CrossFit. Many of you, I'm sure, watched the CrossFit North America West, aka the West Coast Classic. There were a lot of Canadians, which we're definitely going to talk about with Dave. A lot of solid Canadians.
That's right.
I did not watch. I have to be honest. I didn't watch much until Sunday because I was at this other race all weekend. We can talk about that later if you want to. I had fun there. But did you guys watch any Friday, Saturday before we get into kind of Sunday and then who made it to the games?
Well, the event one, the one that I wanted to watch the most, because it's most similar to our sport. Bad coverage. It was like the age group at the games last year. Basically,
Wasn't quite that bad.
Well,
they didn't show any of the running.
At least
first of
somebody
all,
was talking.
I saw lunges and rowing on Sunday, so there's our sport.
Yeah. Well, no, on Friday, like they didn't show any, like not even like an angle from far away of the running, so you could see people run, and like how the runs are all different. Have you guys seen the different setups for the runs so far?
You had so hold on. You had the grocery store line.
What's that?
You had the grocery store line. Like back and forth and back and forth.
Park line, the amusement park line in Asia. They just went back and forth.
Then you had the Australia out in the street. Pretty normal in the Australia.
The Australia one was fine. Europe was okay. But did you see the North America West one?
That was the Spartan Stadium one.
Yeah. Run up the stairs.
Up and down the stairs.
So we didn't and that's really hard. Like it was pointed out that if you're running up the stairs, it's a 1-lane thing. You can't really pass. And if you try to so it's not really a run anymore. You can change your tactics on it and everything. And it's, then you've got to go uphill running and then the downhill running and the stairs running. So it's a lot different. That workout could be really different depending on the location you do it at. But that's the workout I would have wanted to watch the most and they didn't show it. So I was like, oh, that's too bad.
If you go back, it's like they redid almost like an after one, because you can go back and just watch that individual event and you do see a bit of them running in the stadium.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So
all I saw was like the faraway camera pointed at the circle of everybody doing clean and jerks in the middle.
Yeah. So if you go back, they seem to have, I think they might have edited in or whatever, but it is better that way, that you can see a little bit of run up and down the stairs and such, and just how crazy it is compared to the other ones. And I can't believe they even reference, oh, well, it was close to the time from Europe or whatever. Like, these aren't even the same things.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, does an event record matter?
No.
It's completely different. And I just want to say, yes, CrossFit, it's very strength oriented. And so you have people like Danny Spiegel who can do really bad on day 1 and 2 where there's more conditioning events, and then all of a sudden make it because she's solid at the other events. But Olivia Kirkstetter is so strong and so fast. Did you guys see her putting out on the rower and see her putting out on that bike and just everything, the snatch ladder? Oh my God. And for her to not make it,
dude, she put in the fastest time in that second to last workout. I messaged Jacob because they showed Jacob on the screen, and so I was like, oh, hey, there you are. And then I said, oh, your girl just crushed it at 3:32 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. 3:58. So she was the only person to go under 4 minutes, and just
right. You only want to be sub 4, right? So
put that into perspective. The top woman in 2016 in that workout was Cara Saunders. Cara Webb, right? She did 5:25. Yeah. So in a minute, almost a minute and a half faster. And think about this. That was 8 years ago. So Olivia Kirkstetter, when that workout first came out, was 10 years old.
Do you like the scoring system they use? I don't like CrossFit's scoring system.
I mean, it's better than some I've seen, but
yes.
But do they? So the 100-point system, is that? I know that's for the games. Is it usually for the semis as well?
They've been using it more often for other. So the open and the quarterfinals do the cross country scoring of your places, your position, which can really hurt or really help people. But I like the points a little bit better. But the point system here is a little, I do like the difference of, I think it's 6 points between first and second. I like that bigger gap. I don't know if nobody's ever asked me, but I think if I were to do it, I like Jack Bauer's percent of winner time, but I do it differently because you can have people that hit home runs, right?
Yeah.
Or you can really reward someone, tell them getting first place is really good. That way people that are further back can gain more by hitting a home run, by getting that first place. So the way I do it is I say first place is 110 points. Second place is your 100 points. Everybody else's percent of second.
Yeah. So percent of winner with a big bonus for the win.
With a bonus for the winner.
Why have they never tried that? That sounds great. That sounds super fair.
Because they don't know Jack.
Because literally, it's just percent of winner shows you how far away, what's the gap? Because that way if somebody wins by, 2 minutes over the second place, they're still getting a big bonus. They get the 10-point bonus, right? So that's great. Or it can incentivize people that are like, look, I'm really far down, but if instead of having to beat somebody and have others come in between, I can beat them by more. And
it doesn't matter what anybody else does.
It doesn't matter what everybody else does. It matters about what you are doing.
Yes.
If they weren't going to change it when Tia was like so far ahead she couldn't even lose on the last day, then they're probably never going to, because that would have been a time to be like, wait a minute, maybe we should redo this. This isn't even fun. She won it on the second to last day.
And that also, like, so if you do percent of winner but with a bonus for winning, so first place is 110 points, so no matter what, first place gets 10 points.
No, I'm saying I like it. I see your point, but I'm saying that was a good reason for them to look at it and say, let's not have this.
Well, that would almost go away too, because she would have to straight up win 10 events in order to be so far away that she can't get caught in an event.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, okay, well, it makes it more competitive, but it also makes it like, if you are the champion, you're gonna show up and be the champion still.
Yeah. Do you think Colton Mertens gets in under that system? Because he had 2.
So he had what, 3 home run events? Did he win 3 or did he win 2 in like top 3 or something?
I think he won 2 and then had a really, really high finish in the third.
So he had a fifth. He had a 5th, a 1st, a 24th, a 23rd, a 1st, and a 19th. So, 20 bonus points. I mean, you'd have to go back and see, but I think what it would have incentivized is that last event, where he, if he would have finished his lunges out and not broken, if he would have finished his lunges out and not broken, he would have finished exactly at 11th place, which means he would have made the games in this system. But since he broke, he pulled it back. He pulled his things. Instead of like going slowly back, he would have probably been in a rush, because still finishing percent of winner would have got him more points, which means like he would have finished faster. At that point, it was once he got no rep and once he was like dropped his dumbbells and pulled back, it was kind of, okay, well, there goes my shot. Guess I'm done, and just finish the workout. Maybe he finishes 10, 15 seconds faster if it's percent of winner, because he doesn't know, hey, how close can I actually be?
Okay, so here's a crazy system for you, and I don't think they'd actually do this, but this would just be interesting, and it's kind of almost stolen from NASCAR. But let's just say you have a scenario where you've got your, in the West there, they had 10 qualifying spots, so every event winner is in, and then the next top 5 point people.
Well, they had 9 here for the men and 8 for the women.
I thought it was 10 and 8.
No, it was 9 and 8.
Anyway.
Yeah, but dude, hasn't NASCAR changed it literally? Like they were changing it like every year, basically, like even to make it better ratings, and they realized it didn't work, so they tried something else. I don't think NASCAR is a good example.
Dave, I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying that's the system they use.
If you win an event, you're automatically in.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, what happens in this case where Colton Mertens wins 2 events? Okay, which event is he the winner of? Does he take his game spot from?
He gets both, and then it just adds another point person.
Okay.
See, it rolls
you got to solve
the
these things
line.
Solve these things before the season starts, before you go to that scoring system. So when these questions come up, you can answer them.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it has to suck to win 2 events and not go. But again, he's got to just look at himself and say, okay, where can I improve for next year? That's like the only answer.
His win on the snatch ladder was highlight of the comp.
I mean, that was pretty cool. So I just read. Did you read the Shiz's comment that James Sprague is the only one, and he had 2 event wins. So James Sprague had 2 event wins, and he's the only one that made the games with an event win.
Wow!
From the West.
So nobody else that had an event win made it.
Exactly. So
yeah,
Colton Mertens,
be pretty okay at a lot of stuff. That's the name of the game with CrossFit, right?
That's exactly the name of the game. Yep.
Right.
Wildly mediocre.
That's right.
You're more than wildly. You know what? But I've become such a fan of Patrick Vellner.
Oh.
I mean, he's hard not to like, right?
is not 100% right. Grease Haber, who took 9th, won event 4.
All right. Yeah, Shiz. Come on, man.
It's a solid point, though. It's a solid point.
It's a very solid point, but yeah.
But if you saw Patrick, right, even with his shirt off, you're not like, he is one of the fittest men in the world. He just looks like a dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
but
just get the job. Now, like, listen, compared to anybody, like if he's flexing and stuff, I'm sure. But you know what I'm saying? He doesn't look yoked. He doesn't look like, he's not this big, like, you know what I'm saying?
He's okay, but first off, like when he does take his shirt off, he's got that curly red hair all over him, right? That Canadian layer, whatever, the Canadian bear layer. He against these other men, yeah, he probably doesn't look his stuff. If he was out in the middle of public and took his shirt off, you'd be like, oh, that guy's jacked.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like compared to a lot of these guys, and like if you saw him compared, you would not think like, oh, well, that's the fucking guy that actually is one of the fittest in the world.
If you like meet these guys in person, they're a lot wider than you expect them to be.
Yeah. Yeah, the only one, like I've only met a handful, and I mean they're never like, I think meeting Fikowski, he's just like a giant. So other than that, I don't remember.
So what's funny is he looks like a giant out there, but he's like 6 foot tall.
He's 6'6",
so,
right?
Yeah, so like
right, but to compare to everybody else, and compared to me, he's a giant.
If he were on the Hyrox Elite 15 starting line, he would look like a massive man, but he wouldn't be taller than like all those guys. He's
right in that. He's right in that 6'1" age height thing. That all the Hyrox guys are.
Hunter Dillon height, like Sandy.
Yeah, maybe just a touch taller than Kent.
Yeah. Well, Kent's what, 5'11"?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
But taller than me and Dave.
Yeah. You keep forgetting everybody's taller than me. Like you're substantially taller than me.
But did you see when they finished that what was it, the snatch event? Colton Mertens was right next to Brent Fikowski, and they went like high five afterwards, and Mertens, like the top of his head is like at Fikowski's shoulder.
Mertens is the perfect physique to play Wolverine in the movies. Just saying.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, going through it, I mean, what I was actually most surprised about is after last year, I didn't expect Justin Medeiros to win or to be in the conversation. I thought he was just kind of, oh, I won too, I'm happy, off into the sunset I sail. Make the games whenever I can, but it seems like he's like back for something this year,
Why would you write him off from one bad year?
Well, it wasn't just like one bad year. It was like he had the semifinal last year. He barely skimmed in. He wasn't like it. We went from having, if you look at the game's history, we went from having the greatest of all time to one of the most consistent men that, Superman, Krypton, he gets his win, it's Ben Smith, into the most dominant of all time on the men's side. And then we had back-to-back years of Medeiros, and everybody's like, okay, well, this is just what happens in CrossFit and on the men's side. Like, people win over and over and over again. And then to go from, those years into Medeiros, and Medeiros has won 2 in a row, and it's like, okay, here's number 3.
As if that's not really, really fucking hard, by the way.
Well, I know it is, but it seemed like, okay, he was going to do it, but then it just kind of fell flat the whole, not even like just at the games or something, but the lead up to the games, everything fell flat.
And it wasn't like a going from 1st to 5th.
Yeah. No, he fell way down.
It was a tank.
Yeah.
It was
like if he had still made the podium or something, it would have been like, oh, these guys got better, and like it was a tough year. But he was not great at the semifinal last year. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't hear anything about an injury. So I don't know if he got hurt. And then I heard like at the games that he got in that bike accident with someone the first event. But if that's going to be what throws off the whole weekend, like that's kind of tough. So I don't know. So this was
part of it. Part of it is the competition is better, right? We know that.
Right. But I just want to, like, this weekend where he comes out and he beats Fikowski and Vellner, like, all and Sager. It's like, okay, you know, maybe
They're back,
Medeiros
dude.
is back and he's gonna have a good year at the games.
And he did it the exact same way. Consistency. Just
Yeah.
Right.
Just
7th,
you know,
8th, 3rd,
top
8th,
five.
5th, 2nd. Right?
Nothing out of the top 8. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, just like when he won the games and never won an event. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy. Like, consistent.
There you go.
So I have never heard of this new guy. Have you heard of him? The Chris Ibarra guy? Have you heard about him? Oh, I found something. I just remembered. Go ahead.
I'm not familiar with him.
No, I do not know who he is.
All right. So he's the only rookie, correct?
From what I can, yeah, everybody else here has made it before on the men's side.
I want to show you something. Quick side note. Let me find it.
Except for maybe to James Sprague, he was a kid. I don't know if he made the games as an adult before. Oh yeah, he made the games in 2023.
All right, I want to show you this photo. It's pretty amazing. Hang on. It came up in Facebook today. Okay. Here is, I'm going to see if you can tell what this is. I'm going to see if you can guess what this photo is. It's Hyrox related. All right. All right.
It's very dramatic here.
I know. All right. This is a Facebook memory. This is 10 years ago, about today, maybe yesterday. Let's see if we can make it bigger. Can we make this bigger? Can you even tell what it is?
It's like you passed out on the ground, isn't it?
Yes. Giving a thumbs up sign.
Okay.
Is that a Manacoa Fitness shirt
2014.
on?
This is May of 2014. Kerry Wald took this picture. Do you know who that is?
You're at Camp Rhino.
I'm at Camp Rhino doing my first ever CrossFit workout.
Nice.
I showed up to do, I think, what the fuck was it called? Oh shit. What was that? Oh my God. I can't think of it. There was a race. It basically was kind of a half stadium. It was at a casino. Badass Dash. I was there to do Badass Dash, and I met some OCR people at Camp Rhino, and I did this workout that I barely remember. I think it was a run and then some weird fucking Spider-Man push-up squat. I don't know what the fuck we did. It was really hard, and I was dead at the end.
Was it on a weekend?
Whatever May 27th was. Google it. May 27th, 2014. Or 20, yeah.
More likely than not, you did Kerry's boot camp.
Well, there you go. What do you think about that?
So you
full circle, bro. Full circle, bro. You were probably there that day.
Let's see. What day was it? May 27th, 2014. Maybe. I might have been there.
Are you looking up your calendar from that day?
No, I'm trying to figure out what day of the week it was.
Oh. Well, it's pretty quickly.
I think I was at Rhino once.
Yeah, look at me, the CrossFitter. And I actually posted I actually meant to find the next post, but I'll just say it. I actually the week later posted hey, does anybody know any good CrossFit gyms in Atlanta? I think I might try it. Never got around to that. Kept running.
Oh, May 27, 2014 was a Tuesday.
Well, I was there on a Tuesday. Felt like a Saturday.
Wow. Yeah, I think the race was Saturday and Sunday.
You could have just posted that on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, hang on. Yeah, look up the Saturday before, I guess.
Yeah, you would have been there the Saturday before, and then you posted the post on Tuesday.
It would have been May 24th. Yeah, I remember the Badass Dash at South Point Casino. That was fun.
2-4.
We could have been buddies back then.
Except for when they made you crawl through. I get claustrophobic, and they made us crawl through an 18-inch PVC pipe, and I'm big. or maybe it was a 2-foot PVC pipe, corrugated.
Yeah.
And like they had buried it and you had to crawl through it for like 50 feet. And there was like breaks in between them. And I remember I got through the first section. I got up and stood out of the way and I was like, oh my God. And then I went back and did it again. One of my favorite parts of that race though, is they made us go through the horse stalls that were in the back part of the arena.
Yes.
It's a bunch of masonry cinder block walls. And basically I was still big back then, but I did a ton of muscle ups. So I was just like muscle up over the wall. There was like 10 back to back to back to back. And they're about 7 or 8 foot walls. And we had Anjo, who used to go there. One of the guys from our gym won that race. Ray won the race. Ray Fong. What's that?
Wong?
Ray Fong. But yeah, I did it, but the walls, I remember Anjo telling me afterwards that he was ahead of me at that point, and all he heard
They threw
was
balls at us. I forgot that. They threw balls at us at one point.
He heard me coming over the walls. It was just like, whoo, do, because I was like up and over. And he was like, I got to stay ahead. But yeah, I just remember that being a ton of fun.
So when we get to those walls, I'll show you. They really hurt your forearms. Look how skinny I was. Oh my God. There's Julie. There they are. So if you can see here, they actually put tables up. This was the open wave later. I ran the elite wave in the morning and the open wave later. They put these tables up to stand on. But first you just jumped up and they were fucking concrete. And I don't know what you did because you said you were so strong. But like I got my elbows completely scraped up.
Oh yeah, you scrape up right here on these masonry walls, but the elite wave only had tables on the side you would come down on, so you had to jump and then you come down on the table.
Look at that! Fucking brick, dude. Painful. Ah. Whee! There's Ray Fong.
Yeah, there's Ray.
Look at young, thin Matt. That's what I keep noticing.
I had spent the 2 days before this helping set up all the obstacles and trusses too.
So, dude, I was there on Friday night. I ran the race Friday first. We ran the course with like some employees. We probably walked by each other more than once if you were there the day before.
I think you've shown me this video before.
Somersaults?
And I think I'm in it somewhere.
Are you in this video?
Somewhere on here.
You can watch this video and watch it frame by frame and spot Anthony. Let us know because I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just enjoying it. It's only a couple-minute video, so I'm just keeping it.
I think I was like 8th place.
Hey, it's 2014, Dave. What do you want? There's easy obstacles like rolling forward and random ass balls.
Somersault.
They threw balls at us. How about that?
Yeah. It was back when Spartans still had the gladiators that would whack you with the pugil sticks. So badass dash to compete.
Look at all these fucking stairs, dude. It's a lot of stairs. We did a lot of stairs.
It's like a CrossFit 800.
So this is at South Point Casino. It's a big horse arena.
Nice.
Anyway, I don't know how we ended up on this.
Yeah,
because I showed you my CrossFit workout from 2014.
Before we leave CrossFit, I gotta ask Anthony because so you did your Murph.
No, I didn't today.
We're gonna go back to CrossFit. I just want to finish this.
Oh, okay.
So there's those tubes. There you go.
So I was talking about the tubes on the inside. I forgot those ones were there too.
Nice form.
But yeah,
I had to do a tube. So I had to do a tube this weekend where oh my God, we got 2 more minutes to go. Wow, 4 minutes is a long time when you're watching something. Yeah. I did a obstacle race this weekend, and I've done many a culvert crawl through, and I was with this family, and so their kids went in, and I was like, well, they don't want us to go through that as well because it was like right, in the middle, like the kids. It fit the kids. Like, so you had to be literally on your belly, not your hands and knees, on your fucking belly. So if you were claustrophobic, and then it's not the one for you.
That's what Badass Dash made us do. And I was like,
I don't remember it being nearly that hard.
Dude, it was like a 2-foot pipe and I had to like fit through it. I remember my shoulders being like, I was crawling like this, trying to like make sure. And I was using my toes. It was rough.
All right. So what were you saying about CrossFit, Dave?
Oh, I thought Anthony did the Murph. I thought I saw a post that him and Lauren did the Murph.
Yeah, we had one, like, we did it at my parents' lake house before, so we had a bunch of good videos from that. I actually didn't do it this so far this year. I will end up doing it, but I can't right now. I don't know what I did. I squatted on like Friday or something. I think I strained my SI joint, so I'm having trouble doing anything except for sitting and walking like an old hunched over man. So I'm not in the best position to be running with any weighted anything right now. I'm excited to do it. I do want to go do it. And last year, the way I did it, I ran with the stroller. I did, I believe, 10 sets of 20 push-ups and 30 squats. Then I did 100 straight pull-ups, and then I ran with the stroller again.
Just mixing it all up.
Yeah, so that was last year. It was like a terrible way to do it. I don't recommend that. I've done Murph like probably 15 times before though. So yeah. I'm like, I'll do.
Dave,
I was thinking I might, if I can move, I might do a different workout today. I think it's called Daniel, and it's 50 pull-ups, 400-meter run, 21 thrusters, 800-meter run, 21 thrusters, 400-meter run, 50 pull-ups.
That sounds cool.
So I might do that instead.
Dave, did I see you did it? You did it RX and unpartitioned?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Straight through as it is to be done. Or I shouldn't say as it is to be done. It can be done anyway, millions of different ways. But just I think if you're going to say I did it and claim this time without without saying I did it pushing a baby stroller or with assistance or whatever. So yeah, I did it as, I guess you would call that RX.
You're a purist then? Because I mean,
no, because I've done it partitioned. I've done it partitioned before, and I got nothing wrong with you.
I think partitioned is fine as long as you do the actual reps and wear the actual vest. When it's I did it, but actually without a vest, or I did it, but my arm's broken, so I skipped the pull-ups, or the hundreds of other ways people say they did it. I'm okay with breaking it up, but I'm not okay with not RX.
There's a ton of ways to do it, and if you read the story behind it and see like when it was first posted, when it was very first posted, it says you may break up the reps however you want. So like on CrossFit.com, that's what they said for the very first time they posted it, which means like there is no straight through. Now, if you read the story about Michael Murphy, he would do the workout a bunch of different ways all the time.
Don't tell me to calm down. Go ahead.
So there is no like proper way. Just if you have a certain way you do it, compare that way only to doing it that way again. Don't compare you doing it unpartitioned to you doing 20 rounds of Cindy.
And that's that's why I did it the way I did it, was because I wanted to compare it to the time that I had before.
Exactly. That's why you do it, is to compare to your previous time.
Listen, now I've made Lori upset. Lori, you can truly do it any way you want. The problem is people will say they did it, and then they'll show the picture and they didn't wear the vest, or you don't find out. Anyway, it's just
Matt,
This
is back to that whole thing of why are you taking away people's sense of their own accolades, okay?
Dave,
if they want to say they have
I'm tired of answering this question, Dave. You have to answer for me.
I just kind of think I'm fine with doing any of these things any way you want. Just say you did it that way.
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, let somebody else figure out that's how you did it though. If they want to challenge you on it, then you can be unspecific. People are if you're writing assumptions in there, then you make an ass out of you and me. So
I'm gonna find, I don't know what it is, but one day I'm gonna find something, Anthony, that you don't like about someone's post or performance. I don't know what it is. There's gonna be something that you're gonna be like, well, that's not okay. I'm gonna be like, see, why don't you just take away their accomplishments?
I do it all the time, but I don't say it in a public forum. I say it to myself in my head.
I'm not calling anybody out in particular.
I mean, I'm not going to say names, but I saw somebody today say that they could bench press 4 plates, and I was like, no, you can't. And then I realized they meant like
to a side.
It's like they're scoring a deer and counting both points on the antler.
Yeah, man. Like when I'm out there scoring them deer, it's the same thing.
They're two they're doing 2 plates on each side, and that's their 4 plates. So it's a 2-plate bench press, but they call it a 4-plate bench press. Sometimes you just gotta pick yourself.
Sometimes I'll bench 4. I'll do like 4 dinner plates on each hand. You know what I mean? Depends how hungry I am.
All right. So Matt, can you put up Houston, Texas 94's comment? I'm curious what Anthony thinks about this.
So now you can't even talk about the times? Is that what he's saying?
I mean,
I'm confused.
I've heard this before, is that some people do get bothered by the fact that you care about your time for Murph and all that stuff because it's supposed to be about honoring Michael Murphy and Memorial Day and all that. I personally believe it can be both. But I'm curious.
Yeah, Anthony, what do you say? Because I think that's like saying like you can't say I enjoyed a hot dog today on Memorial Day because it's not about that. It's like, well, that's what we're doing. We're having a hot dog. What do you think?
Not the greatest thing.
People say that all the time.
Really?
You don't see those posts on Memorial Day and Veterans Day or calling Veterans Day Memorial Day or whatever people do that's wrong?
Oh, I've seen that.
Everything on the internet is doing everything on the fucking internet is you're doing it wrong. Most things. Or this is what happened to me today that's wrong. That's mostly what the internet is. I think I bring a lot of positivity. I just don't like when people lie about stuff.
All right. So, Anthony, where do you stand on that?
I stand that just like for everything else, I am not the gatekeeper of anything. So if somebody wants to, look, I have family that's been in the military. Like I go talk to my grandpa. I see my grandpa. Like I remember people from the military. I have friends that have gone in the military, and we'll talk and all that. But we'll have memories. But when you're doing a workout, you're doing a workout. If you want to make your workout about, suffering and that's what gets you moving through it, that's fine. But when it's just a workout and you're there to better yourself or to do something, or when they have Murph in a competition like the CrossFit Games, you can get that hyped up speech beforehand, but especially in the games, you're still worried about it's a competition. I have to score well. So you're going for it. If you're trying to measure your own self, it's just like participating in the Open, except for this is free. Like I want to see where I was at compared to myself this last year. Then you can do it that way. It's not a bad thing to time yourself. That's perfectly okay. But if you're thinking about the workout, a lot of people remember and like honor people in different ways. So it doesn't matter what your situation of it is. Like I can sit in a hot box and be like, I'm suffering and remembering them. This is my way of doing it. Like it doesn't, there's no difference.
You can suffer in the hot box. Just don't post this was my Murph time, but it's actually just my time sitting in a hot box. All right, I'm joking there, but here's a serious point though. That'll bring around to what I did this weekend. This weekend I did Frontline, and it's about honoring people on the front lines. So soldiers, first responders, police, the guy, Ed, who started it. It's what he's done his whole life. And we had some really, really deep conversations about that stuff, about mental health. I'll be talking about it on the ORM podcast. But the point is that, like, they give a little bit of that in the speech, and you can see it in their social media posts. But there are plenty of people that went out there that day who might not have any idea, who just did the race and got their time and had fun or got their medal. And like, that's okay too. It's like, well, you missed the point about why he's doing it. It's like, no, like they did it because they wanted to enjoy it. And if you get to that higher context about it, what I would say to the person that commented that is like, that's great. You should bring that wherever you go. When you go do Murph and you want to say, hey guys, can I say a little something before we do this? Great. But yeah, don't make the rest of us wrong because we don't talk about it.
Texas 94, I'm glad you made that comment because that is something that comes up a lot, and I'm glad he pointed that out. Yeah,
as long as they're not disrespecting like the military through it, I'm fine. Do it how you want.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same way. Like, I mean, I'm Canadian, right? So this is even different for me, right? So I know what the workout's about. I understand the story and the, honoring Michael Murphy and his sacrifice and all that. But I will be perfectly honest, in the middle of the workout, I was just thinking about me. I was not thinking about Mike Murphy. And I think that's okay. That's fine. I don't think that's a problem. Like you say, I'm not causing disrespect. I very much have tons of respect for the military. I have family that were in the military, including my father. And yeah, to me, it's just, what's that? Oh.
You just killed your career.
Yeah, I just killed. That's it. I'm canceled. I'm out of here. See you. Okay.
What did you say?
She said, you just killed your career. You're done.
Oh, right. Was your dad in the Canadian, like the Air Force, or did you tell me what he was in when we talked all those times? I'm sure you told me.
In the Navy. He served on Canada's only aircraft carrier, which I believe we sold to the States and you guys scrapped it for metal.
Probably. Well, I was going to say the USS something. What do you guys call your ship? We call them the USS something.
HMCS, I think.
Because you're under the
freaking CAA.
Yeah, CAA. Yeah, Canadian Automobile Association. Yeah, I think it's Her Majesty's something. Yeah, so.
Right.
That's a CAA, eh?
That's right, eh?
What do we want to move? Do we want to move to the women? Before we move on. Are we done with the men? Are we done with the men?
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring up the
I
females.
didn't think Danny was going to make it.
I didn't think she was either.
Going into the last two events, she was like way off. And I looked at the known and knowable shout out who posted like, here's their odds of making the podium, odds of making the games. I feel like it was in the single digits, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, because she was down like 18th for a while, I think.
I mean, she had a 28th, a 10th, and a 13th on day 1 and 2. So she took day 3. I mean, so that's the way the whole event was, though, right? It was like, okay, here's your cardio workout. Here's like your breathe heavy and skill, or your breathe heavy and skill workouts on day 2, and then day 3 was like, okay, let's get heavy, and that's half of the event. And something that was pointed out to me is 2 events had the Echo bike. This is 6 events. So 1/3 of the event mattered how big you were. 1/3 of the whole, 1/3 of the semifinals, it matters your size. And so that really sucks for people like Colton Mertens and Rebecca Facilier, that, you know, it matters how big you are, because 2 events, the bike is a make or break point.
And the row on the one event was very, very important.
Yeah,
too.
And the rower. So half of the events were, the bigger you are, the better you are.
Yeah, I'm always, I'm iffy on machines in the competitions. Even though I know we haven't so much in Deca, so much in Hyrox, I
did like that the rower was more meters and not calories. Like,
agreed.
Good for them. But when you have the Echo bike and you're doing calories, and even still with the
games is the same way. The games is the same way. Let's watch people lift heavy stuff on the last day, right?
But the games has 2 events out of 15 that are on a machine or involve a rower or an assault bike. You know, it's not half the event where 3 out of your 6 scores are. It matters what your body size is.
So what would you replace them with? Just straight run?
No, I mean, you could do it with something else, but like that rope climb workout, I would have liked to see I would have liked to see it just be completely grip taxing. Why not do, like, instead of the row, or was that, no, that was the bike. Instead of the bike, do double unders, make them climb the rope, and then do like power snatches instead of the box jumps. Like same explosive movement, but now you get your grip on everything. So now it really matters. Like, can you pull yourself up? And then it's not a boon to people with a bigger body size. It's actually a little bit of a detriment, because your bigger body size is going to be harder to pull up, because that's what's going to matter more than anything else.
Yeah. I don't understand why they do meters and stuff on the rowers and the calories on the bike. I don't understand why nobody does calories on the bike. Or sorry, nobody does meters on the bike.
I mean, they've done back and forth calories and meters on the rower and the skier before.
Yeah, but on the bike, you don't see it on the bike though.
Right.
And I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with the Echo bike they'll change it up. Maybe if they do the Concept 2 bike, they'll change it up. Yeah, you can do handstand push-ups. I like that there was only one gymnastic, like really one hard gymnastic event. I mean, it was a cool thing. I watched. So Matt, you talked about Camp Rhino earlier. That's where Lauren and I met in Vegas, and that's where the underdogs train now. And that's Alex Kazan and Kyra Milligan and I forget.
Not to be confused with not to be confused not to be confused with Kelly Sullivan or Bubbles.
Yes.
No, so yeah, Kyra, it's funny. We moved up to Salt Lake from Las Vegas and we went to the gym we're at now. Kyra went from the gym we're at now down to Las Vegas. So we like switched spots. We overlapped by about a year up here. But yeah, I mean, for her to make the games, that's awesome. And then Alex Kazan, I mean, I don't think anybody doubted she was going to make the games. What caught me off guard is that she had a 23rd place. So that's, I mean, that girl is strong in everything. And so I just don't know, like maybe she expected it, but I figured that would be a spot they'd work on, is snatches there.
So a couple of things about, so Lori mentioned the rope climb there and Shiz mentioned the rope climb. One of the things that I noticed is this year they changed the box jumps where you have to step down. And we saw a lot of no reps because people either didn't step down or whatever. And that was for safety, I think they had said.
Yep.
Yet you can drop from the top of the rope. That's fine.
Yeah, they used to have pads below the rope. I wish they still had those because I don't think it's dropping from the top of the rope that's the most dangerous thing. It's if anybody's ever hurt themselves on a rope climb, besides like rope burn, it's you have that extra tail of the rope that's on the ground.
They stopped that though.
Down, you break your ankle or twist your ankle stepping on the tail of the rope.
But they stopped that. The ropes were higher this year because didn't somebody actually broke their ankle in a high level competition?
Yeah, there's been broken ankles on that ropes. I mean, really long time ago, Julie Fouché, she tore her Achilles doing box jumps because of the rebounding, and so that's why they have the step down now.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we're over 20 viewers. This could be the first time we've crossed into 20. So
no, we've
next
got
30s.
We were close to 30 before. We were like at 27, 28 before.
Oh, I don't remember.
Like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, something.
Okay.
I think when we had Vivian on, everybody liked Vivian.
Yeah, Vivian's awesome.
Yeah, Dave, you were supposed to join us, but you were typing from your car. It was very unsafe.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, what was the I wonder what was the big injury, by the way, speaking of injuries?
Oh, that was the one in Europe, wasn't it?
France? I mean that injury, I mean, I wouldn't blame CrossFit for that. I know, are you referencing to like what Hiller said and stuff? I mean, I did see. So if they had pulled her out, though, everybody was mad last year when they pulled out. Was it Alexander Caron? Because he tore his pec, but he kept trying in the workout. But then they told him, no, you can't do it. It didn't matter. So they pulled him from the competition. If they had went and pulled her from the competition, it would have been the exact opposite of what they did last year. At least they're consistent with it. But even so, they still should have had the medical team ready instead of her crying on the ground.
That was apparently, so I listened to the podcast and apparently it's different over there and the venue controls the medical team. And so the medical team has to cover the fans and the competitors. So they were up in the stands. So that's why it took them so long to get down to her. But you can't pull her out if she says she's good to go because then they would have had to take Roman out of the games when he messed up his ankle, right?
Well, I mean, they pulled Alexander Caron out of semifinals last year, and he wanted to continue, and they pulled him out in between events, and everybody was mad about it. So you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate, but I also don't think that it's a CrossFit thing. I think it was the European throwdown, the French throwdown, or whatever they called it. That was they're the ones running the event. So CrossFit can come down on them if they want, but that's different.
CrossFit's fine on that one. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, everybody's saying, I guess Bill Leahy hurt his Achilles on the box jumps.
Yeah, okay. And that's why no rebounding.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Some of the step downs I saw for some of the people look a little bit crazy. Hey, rule scenario here. So when they're doing box jumps, I'm seeing a lot of legs skirt to the side of the box as they come up and down. Now, for example, in Deca, you can't do that for the box overs. That's a no rep, but it seemed to be okay for CrossFit.
Well, I think because CrossFit, you actually have to jump up. You can't step up.
Yeah.
So they care about the jump. So you just have to step down on the other side They say you have to pass completely over the box, so coming off the side should be a no rep. But I mean, if the judges weren't calling it, don't go back and call them on it. Just like everybody might get mad, but if you go back and look at Colton Mertens touch and go 265, it was not touch and go. He bounced one side and then the other. Like it was not a clean rep. It should have been no reps. So
I had a question. So it looked like on that last lunge for Fikowski, it didn't change much, but like his leg just bent slightly before he completed the rep, but he still did the work. So I didn't quite understand that one.
He took the dumbbell. I went back and watched this because I couldn't figure out why he got no rep. He took the dumbbell.
I watched it multiple times as well.
He takes the dumbbell on his last lunge and he puts it on his quad. And so he rests the dumbbell on his quad and stands up with it like that. That's a no rep.
Oh, okay. Well, good call on the judge then, because I was like,
I didn't catch it. Like that was a great call. So it was absolutely a no rep, and the judge did a great job there.
Okay. Well, there you go. I watched it multiple times. I didn't see it. Good job, Anthony.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to figure out why he got no rep. I thought maybe the back of his heel was on the line or something. I kept looking, and then I saw like his hand and arm is up, and the dumbbell's resting on his right quad as he stands up.
How would you have done on those lunges, Dave?
With the women's weight, okay.
With the men's weight, how many times would you have to break?
I don't know. That's like 100 pounds. I don't even have a 100-pound dumbbell, so 100 pounds in each hand. That's a lot. I have no idea. How many lunges do you think it took them to get all the way across?
I think it's about 3 per leg, maybe 6 lunges per length. Yeah, and there was 5 lengths.
I think my legs would give out before my grip. Put it that way. But that's heavyweight. That's 200-pound lunges with dumbbells swinging around. That's hard. That's rough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody said Dave some 100-pound weights.
Somebody said what?
Somebody send Dave some 100-pound.
Dave, I got 100-pound dumbbells at my house. We can.
Do you? I only got 70s at here. That's the 70s are the highest I got.
I got 100s, 90s, and 80s. Nice. I have the 100s though, and I can do Bulgarian split squats with them.
Mm-hmm.
I can do, So I think that workout. I don't think I'd make the 6-minute time cap.
No.
But I think so the Echo Bike, I've done 50 calories in the Echo Bike on just over a minute, like a minute 4 for 50 calories on the Echo Bike. Because the Echo Bike's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I think 30 calories into 15 muscle ups would probably be about 3 minutes for me. Maybe just over. So I'd have a little over 2 minutes to do 72 feet. I don't know if I could do that. 72 feet. If I do about 5, that means I need about 20 lunge steps to finish. I don't know if I could do 20 lunges, 10 per leg with hundreds.
Unbroken
in under 2.5 minutes after that other work.
Well, that's all right. You do better than me because I wouldn't get the one muscle up in. So, they'd have to
work on that.
Willer's knees would explode.
Started working on it.
You got to wear knee sleeves. Good knee sleeves can help that.
Yeah. That's a lot.
So
it's a good workout though. I did like that event.
So what are the typical rules with that stuff? Because like I see some people wear knee sleeves, and like obviously some of the heavier weights you get to wear belts. Like, do they have to approve your personal equipment? How does all that work?
So there's rules on it. Like you can't wear tape on the bar and gymnastics grip. You can do one or the other. Or like you can't wear 2 sets of knee sleeves, or the knee sleeves can't be more than like 5 millimeters thick or something.
So is somebody going up to Patrick Vellner and testing them prior to the workout?
No, not before the workout. It's supposed to be equipment approved prior to the event. So like your weightlifting belt is not supposed to be more than 4 inches thick. So you're not supposed to wear more weightlifting belt that's wider than 4 inches. So those people that have like the big braces on the back, those aren't supposed to be allowed.
Lori, you volunteered. If you're still watching, Lori, I'm curious when that happens though. because
so at
they
check-in,
don't
usually at check-in beforehand, before the whole weekend starts.
like it doesn't
They're
like
oh, do you
you're
have
gonna
your
check
gear?
all these things because we don't know what the workouts are at the games, right? Till right before. So it's like, okay,
Not all
here's
of them.
what I
Yeah,
might
you
need. So
bring your belt. Well, here's the thing: if you do the workout with unapproved equipment, and then somebody says something afterwards, you can get DQ'd. So
right, but that's why I'm asking when you would when it's okayed.
they
So
have
it's
their
like
athlete briefings that you can get stuff approved at. When you check in, you can get it approved. Like you can go take a look at it.
It probably doesn't vary
when we
much
went to
from workout to workout.
regionals, what's
Does it
that?
very much? It probably doesn't vary much from workout to workout. Like there's probably a list of approved. Like
Yeah,
if
they
you look
have
at
a list of
Hyrox or
approved
Deca or whatever,
equipment.
there's a list
Yeah.
of approved things you can use, and I'm sure
Yeah.
CrossFit's the same.
Yeah.
well, I remember having this thought, and Armin yelled at me for this, so you guys probably will too. But I remember I was watching a strongman competition, and some of the men, not all of them, wrapped their arms in so much stuff. And it's a lot of awkward things, right? A lot of weird balls and logs. And I thought, well, shouldn't the guy that's just using his arm, like, isn't that a lot fucking harder than the guy with like a pound of tape wrapped around it? And Armin said, no, you're an idiot. So am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, like
it was a lot of
goal,
stuff. It wasn't just like
Matt,
a
the
little bit of
goal
tape.
is not-
It was so
the
much
goal
stuff.
It's about picking up the heaviest possible thing you can. That's why there's powerlifting suits. That's why there's all these like bench press suits and everything where you can't move if you wear them regularly. But when you do these reps, like it's more about how much you're lifting and less about what you're using to help you lift. As long as it's no like mechanical, anything mechanical, you can use basically whatever you want, especially in those sports like strongman. They don't test for anything. So those guys are out there like they're on HGH and testosterone. They're getting to 400 pounds at 6'8" with 10% body fat or less because they're
not
like
strongman. The strongman guys are fat. What are you talking about?
No, not all of them. They might look fat. They're not.
I mean, Eddie Hall was big, but Brian
they're
Shaw,
all that big.
Half Thor Bjorn's son, they're 400
they take
pounds.
Fucking dump bigger than me, bro.
Yeah, they do.
That's true. So Lori's right there too. Like the system CrossFit uses, right? It doesn't catch everything. It's like any other one. I mean, even you go to like the NHL, stick measurements happen all the time, right? And you can catch people cheating that way. So
deflated footballs, bro.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that here.
Oh yes, we do.
No, we don't.
They should have never made the Super Bowl that year.
Why can't you just let Tom Brady enjoy his accomplishments? Why do you have to downplay what he did? Just let people enjoy it.
I'm not downplaying what he did. I'm going off of he got suspended for something. So
calling out athletes by name. Look at you. I knew I'd find something.
I didn't call him out by name. I said deflated footballs. You're the one that said his name.
And then you said they shouldn't have won the Super Bowl. So who are you talking about? All right, let's get back to this. All right. What else about the women do we want to talk about?
Good Canadian content. I'm happy.
Are you going to be glued for North America East?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That'll be good.
We got my girl Carolyn there. So
who do we got? Who do we got in East?
Emma Lawson's going to do well from Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. She's got it. She's one that's got a chance to win it. But I'm very much rooting for Carolyn to make it again this year to get back. She's very fit and very ready to go. But Emma's just a beast. She just has it all. She's just getting better and better.
So, can we sort it by Canadian?
There you go. I'll call her to win it right now. There you go. How's that? I'll make my bold prediction.
Do you know Chloe Gauvin David?
I do not.
Do you know Annika Greer?
I know of Annika Greer. I do not know her.
Emma Lawson, let's see who else.
Who do you think? Oh, yeah, Dave. I don't think Emma's gonna win it with Tia Claire Toomey in there.
Tia's she's just gonna take a break.
All right. Carolyn Prevost has actually been a guest on Dave's show
many times.
Here's the question. I mean, you have a big lineup here, right? Between Fee Sagafi, Tia Claire Toomey, Emma Lawson, and like Amanda Barnhart. Those are probably pretty close to your top four. Alexis Raptis. My question is, with these events and what we've seen happen so far, does Danielle Brandon make it?
There's a handstand walk, so she's going to get first there.
Why are they not? Why are they not listening?
And the row matters way more. The row matters way more.
I know, but it's not like she's a terrible rower, right?
I mean, yeah, but all I'm saying is the row is so important.
Yes, it is. But I think how many spots? It's 11 for the East, isn't it?
Is it 11 for the women?
I think it's
11 or 10.
I know that it's more, but yeah.
Danielle
that's a
changed
lovely
her
picture
photo.
of Danielle Brandon. I like it. Yeah, I think she makes it. I don't think she wins by any stretch, but I think she makes it.
Yeah,
Lori says Amanda Barnhart's more of a concern than Danielle for making it.
Everybody has their opinion.
Oh, that means it's not Anthony's.
Lori, you can share more thoughts on that. All right, do we want to move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's fucking go. We got to go back to here. The next topic is dun dun dun. I'm really bad at this game.
Yeah, the women have 11 spots in the East, and so do the men. 11. All
right.
Yeah, Magita's
It's official. They decided to be literal and not literal, as Anthony was hoping for the possibility, and they went with.
Don't say I was hoping for it. I wasn't hoping for it. I said it could
you seem to really. I went back and listened to that episode.
Potential.
I went back and listened to that episode. There were like 8 minutes of you explaining it over and over again, and I was like, "It's not going to happen." So,
it could have.
It definitely could have.
It's all in the wording.
So Magita's in, and should they let him be in because he's 9th?
I mean, I think honestly, the better. I don't want to say the better, but like, he was hurt. It's fine. He's gonna do fine. And just like, I don't blame him if it rolled down to me, I would have taken it, right? So take it, buddy. Why not? But I do think it should have gone to the last chance qualifiers or rolled down to Colin, who's the only one who in the top 5 at a major, which was what their cut line was, top 5 at a major, who didn't qualify for the Elite 15 in Nice.
Shiz, are we putting you to sleep or you're going to sleep? Let us know. Dave,
I think when you said Magita's in, he put that. So he was like, oh.
Magita being in, you know what? Here's what I'll say about Magita. And I'm a fan of Dave Magita. On his best, he can put out an amazing performance, but he can also have a pretty rough go. So I mean, he's there. This is the way they laid it out. The only thing I said I had problems with the rule being I wish they had announced the rule in the beginning of the year, right at the start, because I think it can affect the races. But it is what it is. He's in. Does he deserve to be or not? I guess we'll see.
I think what the story more is about is what we're actually losing here. We're losing Rylan. Rylan, who, I mean, before I don't know what DC this year, it was like everybody was like, Rylan could take Hunter, or Rylan had put out like, I am going to like rush Hunter. Like
that's what I wanted to see.
Now, that's what we want to see. So now all we have is maybe Sandy will do it because Sandy likes to do that, but we already know what happens to Sandy in the back part of the race. So
how dare you?
Hunter won't be scared of that. And so I'm just like, okay, we're missing out on Rylan, who had this like big swing home run potential that everybody got excited about. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay. And I mean, yeah, like the Shiz said, Magita's time that is putting him into Nice this year is over an hour. It's 60 minutes and 30 seconds. Right. So just in terms of everybody else that's qualified, that's 2 minutes slower than anybody else.
If you saw my interview with Lucas, he said there is no strategy. The strategy is to go as fast as you can the entire time. So,
and I mean, a lot of these guys' times can vary by as much as 3 minutes. Right. I'm just saying, like, we know at least those two. We know at least Sandy and Lucas. But yes, I think Rylan wouldn't scare Hunter because nothing scares Hunter, but he should scare Hunter. No, I think Ryland could have put pressure on him.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Would have made him overwork, because everybody's like, oh, Hunter, he can't overwork. Yeah, anybody can.
Yes, he can. And he's proven that because he's dropped out of races.
Yes. And so if there were two people, Hunter and Sandy, not Hunter, Ryland and Sandy, both ahead of him going into and coming out of the ski erg, you don't think Hunter would have maybe put a little extra energy in? Like, okay, I need to get
he
this.
says
he doesn't know Ryland.
Well, I think Hunter has said it's like not until the push or the pull is he really even think about it. So I think
it's a race. You can say it doesn't matter, I'm only going for a time, all you want.
No. I'm saying that I said to him, so and so was right with you. He's like, yeah, but they aren't after the pull. By the time the pull's over, I'm in front, and that's all that matters.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, what if Ryland was the only times we've seen Hunter lose, he was behind after the pull.
Yeah.
So if you had two
people, but you're saying station one. You're saying the ski.
No, I'm saying if you had two people gunning out, and for the first 20 minutes of the race, so they're at the sled pull with him, do you think he starts to panic a little?
No.
Do you think they overwork and they all start to come back?
I think he notices.
I think Alex Ronkovic's going to be very consistent, run his race, and he'll be right there to scoop up anybody that does.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in a particular case, if someone comes off the ski erg ahead of Hunter, he's not going to panic, but he is going to notice. Yeah. And he's not going to let them get away. And then if they're still ahead after the rope, after the pull, then the mind will start to work.
Yeah. But I mean, he's going to have people there. I tell you what, I almost can guarantee you're going to have Alex and JK ready and right there with Hunter, like coming out of the pull. And he's going to be, he's going to feel the pressure. Now, if he had, what we're missing in the race is Ryland.
Well, now you're making Ryland, me, now I guess we're going to have to pull up the Elite 15. Hang on, we pull it up.
I was just talking about what we were missing from the race now. That's what Ryland could have brought to the race that now we're missing.
All right, this is the wrong
thing. This is a different Elite 15, Matt.
Yeah.
This is not the one you were looking for. No.
I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. Come on.
Yeah, it is absolutely tragic that we're not going to get Ryland, because he was so before this, what's happened to him, he was so fit and he was such a beast. So it is our loss, regardless of whether he would win or not. I don't know, but he was going to make it a better competition.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that he gets even better by next year, and then next year will just be unreal. Yeah. So
did you guys hear? I thought this was Hunter's last year, but he said in a podcast he has one more.
Yeah.
So this isn't his last year.
Well, right, and I already said that next year is the last. Like, if he doesn't win it next year, then he's in trouble, because this year he's got a shot. I think by next year, it's like it's going to be over. Because he'll be 38.
The field's catching up because it's hard. It gets harder and harder for him to go any faster. He's pushing
right. That's what we talked about last week was how to go that many more seconds faster. So we do have another week after this to talk about this race, but I feel like since we're here now, what else do we want to say about the men's race? Have you had any additional thoughts since last week? Now that it's officially set.
I was just saying that it's, we're missing out on what could have been an awesome push with Ryland being gone. Now, with Ryland being gone, it doesn't mean that it's still the race is far and away over. Not at all. So it should be still, I think, a really good race.
Yeah, there's no doubt Hunter is the favorite, but there's so many guys in here that it would not surprise me if they took it. Like that have the potential to win. I mean, realistically, everybody from 1 to 8 there, and and I don't want to exclude the guys past there, but there's so many guys there that have a shot to do it.
Yeah, those guys 1 to 8, they're all going to be up there running.
Yeah. And then, like I said, there's guys back there like that still have a legit shot. So I think it's gonna be a great race. I'm really excited about it. And personal preference. I mean, my boy Dylan Scott's there, so I got to go with my Team OFX Dylan Scott all the way.
JK is going to win.
Superior coaching, eh?
I think JK will be in the podium. I don't know if he's going to win, but we'll talk about that more next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about a really slow in altitude Hyrox that happened a Deca that happened this weekend?
Sure. I didn't know anybody that went.
It's Colorado, which is just rich with athletes, but none of them went.
Well, that's because it's a terrible time to have had it.
Yeah,
and have it a month later, and I bet you get amazing turnout.
Yeah, and it's a road show as well too, so that would cut back on some of the people being there too.
They have it a month later, I would have gone.
Hmm.
I don't know. And I'm sure a bunch of the people that live in Colorado would have gone, even though it would not have been a good race, And I was looking at like that DecaFit Ultra too, and it's $1,000 to fly to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So why is it there? Make it somewhere easily accessible that people can get to.
I think it's due to venues. I think it's, venue deals or venues provided, or, it's a financial deal with the venues is why I think they end up where they end up.
You're going to get but that kind of stuff gets you low turnout. And isn't it more important to have the higher turnout? Like you have 4 women in the elite field here. And I actually do think, I don't know who the Stephanie Hillman is, but I think take 2 minutes off her time for just high altitude and it being a road show. I mean, that's a great time.
So Stephanie Hillman has competed in the Elite Women's World Championships before.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So she's legit. She's good. Sarah Grippy Snyder, she was in the top 20 last year for the women. Who else do we got there? Kayla, I'm sorry, the other 2 ladies there on there. I'm not sure who they are. Josh Gonzalez, he's got multiple Deca podiums. He's one of the underdog athletes, works with Kevin Gregory. But then a lot of other names there. I mean, if Hayden Warner, if he was that close to Josh, that's not a bad run.
I mean, I was just looking at it and I just thought, with the race where it was being a road show, I do think these are probably 2 minutes slow.
Probably. And it's not going to be the exact same setup. Remember, because on a road show as well, like they're dead ball over the shoulders, things are a little bit different than a regular DecaFit. So it's very hard to compare. It becomes like comparing Hyrox courses. It's kind of close-ish, So close-ish. So between that, the elevation, I mean, some of these times, like you say, you're probably right in your estimate for Stephanie Hillman would probably be about 2 minutes faster. Same with Sarah Grippy. And Josh, that's kind of close to where he runs. Maybe a little, and maybe in the 32s. Yeah. So I think your 2 minutes is right on.
So here is, man, your mic is being wacky. What's your name? Anthony.
My mic?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just back away a little bit. It's making weird noises.
How's that?
Did you hear that, Dave?
Yeah, it's like scratching.
All right, so here's Stephanie's Hyrox's looks like her best time in pro was 1:10. In Anaheim. That was the other week.
Yeah, and she's more of a, I would call her more of a speed athlete from my memory of her.
A solid age group athlete, not quite pro material, let's say, even though she did the pro wave. Good for you, but right.
Yeah, and that's a respectable time. Like, that's not a bad time.
Right. I think she's done Spartan too. Stephanie, I know we've chatted before. I think she's done. Yeah, she's done. She was at this is Deca Worlds. Yeah, this is Deca Worlds. Yep. And then she's done a bunch of Spartans. She's in the community.
Yeah, Lori says Steph is built like Bethany. Yeah, she's
built like Bethany.
Speed athlete. Yeah, don't kid yourself. Bethany's getting yoked now. She's got special training.
Awesome. getting strong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't, people talk about, like, oh, why does Spartan have these bad dates and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, listen, they're going to do a whole year's worth of stuff. And you can't really, Deca could be more choosy, but again, what is Yancey working with? It's probably the same Spartan, like whatever venue or what do you call it, real estate team. And he's like, I need 8 races and we think it's these cities. And it's probably like, it's going to be what it's going to be.
I really wish that I wish the Deca Fit Ultra was in a better location. Like, love to go do it. I think
like we don't even have like,
but we just like, I mean, the time of year is great. It's just unfortunate that to get to Fort Wayne, Indiana, there's a bunch of airports that are 2 hours, 3 hours away that are $700 round trip. But if you want to fly to Fort Wayne from where we're at, it's $900 a person.
So yeah, for me, Fort Wayne's not bad. It's like, again, I'm driving, right? So it's like, it's like 7 hours, I think 7 or 8 hours. So yeah, but the Midwest people always want something. You got to give the Midwest people something.
Yeah, but a big event like that, like put it somewhere where everybody can access it. And then
listen, Atlanta, we haven't even had a Hyrox. Atlanta hasn't even had a Hyrox yet, and we have only like 5 affiliates. But I think if you put a Deca here, it would do better than, than that. But who knows?
Matt, have you heard anything about where majors are next year or what the structure is going to be like?
No. Why would you think I would?
I was just curious. You could tell me offline. I'm just
I would say I know, and I'm going to tell you offline if I knew. We don't even know the venues yet. They did announce, we forgot to mention this, they did announce the dates, and people are upset that they're too close together. They announced the whole fall schedule. And that, again, I think they could do something about it. Like they're only doing so many races here. They're only doing so many in the fall. It feels like they maybe could spread them out a little bit, but that's what we got.
Yes, Heather, Deca Fit Austin is the same day as Hyrox Worlds.
All right, Lori says it's short. Lori, you win the donut or whatever we're giving away for most comments today. Thank you for participating. We really appreciate it. That was Heather's question.
Chicago's still expensive to fly to.
Chicago's easy to get in and out of, but it's not a cheap city. But if you're not staying I just flew to Chicago and I just drove. Dude, I had to get up at fucking 3 a.m. to make my flight back.
Flights all the time. Everybody can fly to Las Vegas for cheap.
Florida and Vegas. We'll go to Florida and Vegas.
What was I just saying? Oh, about the Hyrox America schedule.
Oh yeah, what they announced Dallas too, right?
Yeah, which is this kind of the same time. They're kind of doing an almost. Where's Hyrox America? They're kind of getting into the rhythm of like, we're going to go to these cities and these venues the same time. Because wasn't that the same last year?
Yeah. Chicago will be a major next year. That's my guess.
I don't think so.
No?
I think America gets one major and it's going to be in the spring.
So Chicago, Dallas back to back, and then Anaheim 2 weeks later. So, it's holiday time. That's rough. But that wasn't. So I guess it's not that bad. But again, they'd have to push these to the spring. This only sucks if we get no spring races. If we get spring races, then I'm slightly happier.
I think since they announced Dallas in the fall here, I bet you the spring races, you're probably looking at Houston or LA or Atlanta or DC for the major in the spring.
What about a major in New York?
If Anaheim just happened and it's going
New York
back
is always
in
June.
But if Anaheim is December, we just had it in May. I don't think they're going to turn around and have it again in the early spring for a major.
No, but they do Anaheim and LA. They had LA in December this last year, and then they had Anaheim in May. So they have 2 different venues in that Los Angeles area.
I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah, I think it's going to be Chicago or DC.
I think the US, or not the US, I think North America next year gets one major, the North American Championships in the spring, and then they get one of the LCQs.
Heather White, I hate they're selling out so quick. I can't commit to something 6 months out, and by the time I decide it's going to be sold out. In Europe and England, they sell out in minutes, in like hours. Yeah. So the fact you have a month, be happy.
I agree. Like, it sucks that they sell out so quick, but I also think it's really, really good. I think it's really good for the sport that they sell out like that. And maybe they'll start adding extra days and they'll still sell out. And it's only good because I haven't seen a secondhand market for tickets. Now, if they were selling out because there was a secondhand market for tickets that was scalping tickets or something, that would be poor. But I haven't seen that. So it's good that they're selling out.
Yeah, I was talking to Ian about this. I think in England, they're just going to, or England and Europe, they're just going to have to go to 3-day events for everything because they just sell out so quick. And it's like, can they make it work with the venue for a Friday and a Monday as well? And what's better because people need to get off work. But I mean, that seems like the answer because someone's like, I saw comments like, just put on more events. It's like, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's logistics. That's a major expense to book the venue.
You got to think about
it's not that simple.
I think I saw something. It's like $200,000 for them to put on an event, right? And yeah, they make it back, but there's a lot of logistics involved with each one of those.
Right. I don't think you can just put on more events like that. I don't know. I didn't need to highlight that comment there. Price. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen soon. 3-day events. It's like, listen, they're thrilled that they have this quality problem. I just want to know where we're going to be in America in the spring. And I was told that we'd know soon. So maybe right after this weekend, right? New York, the last race of the season officially before the World Champs. Boom, right after the World Champs, they announce everything for America in the spring.
Matt, I don't think so.
North America. Sorry, Dave.
Like you said before, like we've been told before, is like they don't want to poach from their own events. So they think announcing the events too early.
But that's what I'm saying. After New York happens, they can announce some other East Coast dates.
No, I think they're going to wait until the fall before they announce the spring dates.
So wait until these other events get closer to sold out, and then
because they want these events to sell out. So they're going to wait until the fall to announce their spring dates, which I don't like, but that's
business.
I mean, the only date that I bet you will be announced is going to be the major after Worlds, the next year's structure. But I don't think they'll even announce the LCQs. Because maybe they'll silently change what the LCQ is again.
Yeah.
I only think they did that because they couldn't get whatever they needed in Asia worked out, or they were just so hopeful that, like we're expanding. Then they're like, let's not do Asia. Not so fast.
I bet you APAC gets a major next year.
Speaking of which, Taipei had its first event. Do you want to know how many people? Are you familiar with Taiwan at all?
You probably find it on the
map. There were... This weekend in Poland, there were, let's see. In Poland, there were...
Here, well, he's looking that up, Dave. What do you think of
1,700 finishers in Poland, 1,600 finishers in... Sorry, 1,760 in Poland, 1,600 in Taipei. They also had... They had 112 relay teams. That's more than most places. Other than London 3-day, that's the most relays. So they're doing a lot of relays with these.
That's pretty good for a first event. I mean, the very first events here were like 600 people, 900 people.
Right.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? 1,600 on event one is good.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Dave.
I didn't say it was bad.
So, Dave, thinking about going to say a Hong Kong event or a Taipei event, what do you think of you get no reps, but you don't know because you don't speak the language?
Oh, jeez. Well, I deal with that all the time when I go to race in Quebec.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
It happens a lot.
So what happens if you can't understand your judge?
Did I say this? Did I bring this up?
Here's actually the way I do actually view that, because it is something I've had to deal with. And quite frankly, I look at it this way. If I'm going somewhere else, and we'll use Quebec, the language is French, and my judge doesn't speak English and I don't speak French, that's on me. I chose to go to Quebec, right? So if I'm going to Hong Kong and I can't count to 100 in Chinese and I can't understand no rep in Chinese, that's on me.
So here's the question then. What about at the World Championships? What if the judges, it's in France, you have no other choice but to go to France to do it, right?
But you could have judges from all over the world.
Right. But what if exactly you have judges from all over the world? What if your judge is from the Middle East and doesn't speak English and you don't speak Arabic? So what do you do then?
Yeah, that's a different scenario because that is a world championship and that would be a different one to do. Obviously, I think for no reps, you would want hand gestures of some kind. That is very obvious. And then ideally, I think probably your best bet would be a numerical,
Okay.
to have a numerical
What happens? Because they're supposed to get a warning for stepping on the sled pole line.
4, 5, 6,
No, you kind of messed that up. That's okay though.
What if
count to 10 in French, Dave?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Eh?
Pas de rep.
Pas de rep is no rep?
Pas de rep.
Pa is no.
Yeah, pas means like, pas is like negative. Pas de rep.
So what happens if they step on
rep? You say pas de rep?
Yeah. Yes. All right. Go on, Anthony.
What happens if you step on the sled pole line and you don't know that they're giving you a warning about it?
Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, I mean,
hey Siri,
or you don't know why they're
warning in
what
France?
About the burpees? Like you don't know what they're telling you to do better or something, right? What if it's?
And we saw that actually. I saw that in a Spanish race, on the burpees, where one guy was. He was being told he was doing something wrong and he had no idea and he kept going. And then he posted, what's going on here? Why did I get this? Why did I get that? And it was just his burpees weren't good. And so they made him go back and he didn't understand that they wanted him to go back more. But so, yeah, that language barrier can be. So I would think ideally,
they would introduce all the athletes to their judges.
Yep. In the Elite 15, especially, but for the regular people, you're going to France. You might want to tune up on a couple of phrases.
Well, what I'm thinking too is so the age groups the next day, and that's going to be tough too, getting judges there. What about the doubles where there's a lot of people, Yeah. So I think about those type of things is what happens if your judge doesn't speak your same language.
Yeah. Well, I look at it as, like I said, if you're a guest in the house, you should be prepared.
Right. But people won't be. But not everybody will be a guest.
No.
What if you're both guests and one's from a completely other side of the world?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully for the Elite 15, like you say, they introduce the judges, they get it all figured out ahead of time.
And I'm not just thinking this for the English language.
No.
Linda obviously understands German much better than English. Well, I mean, her English is way better than my German, but what I'm saying is if you were to speak to her in German, she would process it quicker, I would assume, right?
But if you were to speak to her in Arabic, how would she do?
Exactly. So I'm just hoping they have judges for each athlete that speak the same language as them.
So I know in Vegas they gave everyone their own judge because I was there. They did that also in Manchester. They introduced your judge ahead of time.
Yeah, they had their own judge. Well, yeah.
I don't think it would be a problem for the Elite 15, but that is definitely something that could come up for age groups later on.
Yeah. My guess is the Elite 15. They're going to use people they already know, and it's just going to kind of be assumed, we all speak English. But yeah, I definitely think it should be part of the briefing for France, especially if they get desperate. How good is your English? And we just have to assume, since English is pretty universal, we're going to do reps in English for this. It's a great question.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I'd tune up on your French.
All right. Those are my questions.
What else do we have to cover this week before we? I know Dave is a hard out at 7:30. Do we have any other topics to cover?
I don't. I mean, I'm excited for next week. What are we going to do next week leading into Worlds?
Well, we're going to talk about my amazing team relay performance. We're going to talk about how I ran into Lance Armstrong, got an amazing, earth-shattering, record-breaking interview. I'm trying to say
my doubles performance. I'm going to smoke the doubles in New York.
Somebody was asking you way up here if you were coming.
Yes, I am going to be in New York. Ryan and I are going to run doubles.
Nice.
Ryan Atkins?
Yeah, sure. Ryan and I, yeah. Why not?
All right. If I meet Lance, you're going to bring him over to you and you can talk to him for OFX?
Not really.
Such a hater. Why are you such a hater?
I'm not a very good starstruck guy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I would say.
See, Matt, Dave's not American. He doesn't know the pride of having a 7-time Tour de France winner. That was.
Yeah, I do. We got our big Olympic gold medalist that got nailed right at the beginning round. So, Ben Johnson be the same deal.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought somebody posted this.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Lance never got nailed. He just admitted it post.
Yeah.
However many years after.
Yeah.
Matt Putin is excited to finally meet you in person.
Yes. Yeah, I could not, but I wasn't named Matt, so I couldn't qualify for your relay team.
No, you could not.
No.
All right. Well, then let's wrap up by saying you can find Dave either in New York this weekend or at the OFX podcast. Do you want to announce your last week's guest or this week's guest? I listened to Dave and Bethany on my ride from the Chicago airport to the venue and quite enjoyed it.
Yes.
I forgot what you
Sounding
were talking
so
about.
Surprised. That's lovely.
I forgot you were. No, I forgot what you were talking about. I was going to say what it was, and I couldn't think of what it was. What were you talking about last week?
This week, and so I'll talk about this week coming up. We have Team Canada. There we go, my Team Canada hat. We have the entirety of the Hyrox Relay Team Canada on this week. So we'll be chatting that. That'll be out later this week to hear. So you'll have
How do you feel they're going to do?
Well, I don't think they're going to win.
Because I mean,
you just said what are we going to talk about next week, and I'm trying to wrap it up and give the closing, and now you're asking another question.
All right,
that's fine. Well, let's leave that to next week because I've listened to like all the other teams. I'm just curious.
Well, here, well, like you say, we'll have them on.
You've talked to 19 other teams, Dave, Anthony.
Talked to or listened to some of them, yeah.
Okay, how's the Polish team going to do?
Oh, they'll be solid.
I don't know. I didn't talk to them. I talked to Kate Davey, and she's on the English team. I talked to JK. He's the captain of the Australian team.
All right, that's 2. That's 18.
My wife is on the USA team. Just asked Dave a little bit about Team Canada. I listened to the Hogans on UK. You're not.
The Hogans were a good interview too. That was a good one.
I was going to say you're still not even at 20%, but you got to 20% with the Hogans. All right,
you talked to 20%. Ian did a good job on that one. That was a good podcast.
All right, so Zerdo de Entekik. I don't know where you're checking in from, but the 126 time with Lance, so that's over Anthony's. Anthony, you said 116 was the line.
No, 120 is the line. You just said you can leave it at 116, and you and Dave still said under, and I'll stay over. Put the line as low as you want. I'm going to say over.
As low as I want?
Yeah. Where's the line?
Okay. 45 minutes.
Okay, over.
Pick over on that one. Yeah.
I'm still over. No matter what line you have, I'm over. Keep giving me more.
2 hours? 2 hours.
No, he'll be under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Problem
I said it as low as you want, not as high as you want.
Well, that's low. If you're thinking of a week, 2 hours is pretty quick. Anthony, where can people learn more about the hybrid engine?
They can follow us on Instagram, or you can look us up on our website, thehybridengine.com, or follow Lauren Weeks, and you'll be directed there. We do programming and coaching, and we should have some fun things next week to talk about too. But it's a great community, and we have a community Facebook with the members as well. So everybody can jump into that.
All right, hold on,
remind
Anthony.
Everybody, go ahead.
Hold on, Anthony. You dropped the ball here. I'm going to tell you how to do this here. All right. Where do you find out information about the hybrid engine? You look on the hybrid podiums, and that's where you'll see information about the hybrid engine. Right
Boom!
there.
It's not all about the podiums, but
come on, that was good. That was good.
That was good.
That was really good.
Where do you find out info on the hybrid engine? You look at the podium.
That's right. That's all the info you need.
All right, and I will close how we began with my Resolute Coffee shout out. Do order yourself some coffee because A, it's good coffee. B, you support this show. C, you support Brian, who runs this, who's also a hybrid athlete himself. Let us say goodbye until next Monday, where we will talk so much about the upcoming Hyrox World Champs. Peace.
Great hot sauce too.